Hello, welcome back. My name is Lucas. This is lucasgvariety, and we are here for our episode number 1, finally, after all this time, of Dungeon World, The Vagabonds. I am here with my host of Awesome Bros, some of us bearded and some of us not, from no beard all the way up to, well, I call this full beard, but it's as much as I can do. Anyways, welcome Dungeon World guys. We're here with a group of heroes, and we're going to play in this epic world. Where these guys are the Vagabonds. I'm going to start from the opposite side of the overlay this week. How are you doing tonight, Thad? How's it going? What's going on?
Doing fantastic. Just got done seeing the brother-in-law and sister-in-law ski weekend, and I finally got some time to myself to play some Dungeon World. So, looking forward to it. A little nervous. Haven't done this in a while. So, see how it goes.
From all the stuff you've invented and I've seen before, like just the writing back and forth, I don't think you have any problem, man. You've put a lot into this world already, so I think you'll do just fine. Whether you want to voice act or just talk as yourself, you're free to do whatever on this show. Get nuts.
All right.
Damn, how's it going tonight?
It's going good.
Yeah? It's going to happen every single night, every single time. Drive me crazy. Hey, outsider, how's it going?
It's rolling along, man. It's rolling along. I'm doing pretty good. Had some personal things come up and got those all settled before the game. So just looking forward to bashing skulls in and chopping people in half.
All right. All that innocent fun. All right. We are back with Dungeon World. And I lost my book here, my module. This is Dungeon World. I'm trying to get down to my authors here. There it is. And it is, well, they had him up here. Edited by, this is by Sage LaTorra and Adam Koebel. I know I've seen Adam Koebel, of course, on Roll20, and he's done a lot of stuff. This is Dungeon World. This is a powered by the apocalypse hack based in the D&D-like, fantasy realm. So as a group, as the game master and the players, we build the world together, and I throw them into the adventure. They make choices. When they make choices, I say, sounds like this move. So why don't you roll this? And they're like, okay. And then we go on the results. And we roll 2d6 with a little bit of bonuses in there with 3 possible results. 1 to 6, which is bad, 7 to 9, partial success, and 10 plus, uber success. And it can spiral into madness and craziness in about a blink of an eye. So that's kind of the game. It's very narrative driven. We have some maps and some things that can happen. But mostly it's going to be derived from our mind. We're just going to play it together. So that's it. That's the basic foundation if it's the first time you're watching and you want to follow along. And let's see. Someone want to give us a little bit, Koebel, thank you, a little bit of just a premise of what our current adventure is. Like not where you guys are right now, but kind of the shape of this world. Maybe just a tiny bit of history and like who you guys are. Just a couple bits of information to throw out here while I do my last little bit here.
Sure. I guess I'll start here real quick. We'll just go back down the line the opposite way. I am playing Rudiger Hawk, who is the fighter. A little bit of backstory, not a ton, just kind of synopsis and things here. Mm-hmm. He used to be a blacksmith, then he was a soldier, then he was a royal guard, and then the person he was guarding got killed, and he turned into a bandit. And then he had gained enough skills and enough power in the clan to just fuck it up and leave. And he cut down anyone in his way and is acting as a mercenary for all intents and purposes. And then he joined this gang of caravan protectors called, I guess, the Vagabonds. Or the drivers. I'm not entirely sure which one we are.
I think the drivers are just caravan protectors, almost as a guild name, even if they're not a guild. That's what they know now. I think you guys in particular are the Vagabonds from your history.
There you go. So a little bit of world history, a little bit of my history. Dim?
I'm playing Area, who is a elf bard, so he's He likes to talk and he likes to cause a lot of commotion. Likes to start fights. Likes to get people instigated. So this might be kind of a fun character to play.
I think so.
He traveled on his own for about half of his life. His life before that, he spent with various groups, and but eventually he ended up running into Rudiger, who they actually started kind of traveling together as the drivers, and then we eventually ran into. I still can't remember his name. What's your mage's name?
Thunkel.
Thunkel.
Sorry, I jumped in there.
They run into Thunkel, and the three of them end up forming the Vagabonds. So, pass it on to the next person.
Okay.
So I'm playing Thunkel Lord Grant. Thunkel Lord Grant is the grandson of the last of the House of Lord Grant, a now defunct House of Royalty. My grandfather gave up the last of his estate in order to finance my education and kind of push me onto a path that he helped would rebuild our name. I did extremely well at that particular institute through lots of hard work and perhaps some particularly assertive actions on my part. It was in the city of Telis. And Thunkel left the institute when he saw that there was a use for all this knowledge and magical power he gained outside of this purely academic knowledge for knowledge's sake world, and ended up traveling. While he traveled, he fell in with a couple of people who had similar views on the world, of seeing that maybe there's more to it than just bureaucracy and rules.
Okay. And you're the wizard.
And I'm the wizard.
Wizard, bard, and fighter. As you can see, other nameplates there. So, working on your rituals, but I'll come back to those later. Let's get this set. Let's get the stage set here. So, there is this world. Used to be your normal type of fantasy world. Had lots of gods. And I think we'll call I was thinking of calling the year, like whatever year it is, we'll say maybe it's like 600 something and DG. I was thinking DG is in Death of the Gods. But we can, if we have another abbreviation we like better, we can do that. Basically, at one point, there was a large, huge war. The gods went to war, and they basically all destroyed themselves. They exploded or died, and all their magical soul-like essence spread everywhere in the world. And basically, the world went through kind of like an apocalypse of sorts. But now it's been several centuries later. Civilizations are starting to rise again. But civilizations are all scattered individually with large, long roads in between them. So, I mean, if you have like a city here and here and here, there'd probably be like a road to each one, and then to other ones. They probably spider web out. And you guys can stop me or add in here. But each city is very different. That's kind of the purpose. Like each city has its own rules, its own thing. Magic is very prevalent. It's very high fantasy. Let's see. And it's very dangerous in between the cities. So they need people like the drivers, men and women who are brave enough to protect them, to protect caravans for trade in between. There's also a nomadic tribe called the Ones in Between, who are like basically cleansers or purgers that live out in the wild, and they take care of evil stuff and work for no one and answer to no one. I think that's kind of some of the established. If there's anything you guys want to change, add, or delete from any of what I just said, feel free to jump in.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
All right. Then, finding the information I had on this other page. Currently, you guys are, this is where we're open up, right? We are, how big is this caravan, first of all, that we're going to start out with? How many, okay, first of all, I don't think we have horses, at least not here. I think the caravans are driven by a person, and I don't want you guys to think car, but I almost think a person, either a low-level mage or even a simpleton. They sit on the front of it, maybe there's like a small pedestal with like a crystal or a gem. You know, like you hold their hand on it and like they can steer the wagon that way or something. But I think they're self-driven. I don't think we have beasts of burden here. Maybe we do, but I wasn't clear on that when we talked. But caravan size, agreement on that? Talk to me.
I think like 4 or 5 carts.
4 or 5? 5? I like 5.
I was thinking a little smaller, maybe 3, but 4 or 5 sounds about right.
Yeah, just small, medium.
Okay. I'm gonna compromise there. I'm gonna put 4. Right between 3 and 5. No, I don't like 4. That's too much. I like 3 now. We're gonna go 3. But if it's just a small caravan of 3, what's so important? Why do they need 3? Why do they need? Because you guys, I mean, you're a badass fighter, bard, and wizard. Why do they need the vagabonds to protect this cargo? I mean, what's so important about it? Or do we not know? I mean,
maybe they didn't hire us because they needed us for this trip. Maybe we needed the job. Maybe we needed a trip to where they're going.
Either that, or I mean, if you think about it, with it basically being different civilizations, any form of trade from civilization to civilization is going to be pretty well sought out.
Pretty crucial. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair. Everything's got value.
So even like you said, the innocuous stuff, whether it's grain, straw, lumber, basic cargo, even magic dust or components, metal, tech stuff. Well, not tech, but you know, anything. It's all valuable. Okay. Goose down feathers. Yeah, that's right. 'Cause we got to make all them beds and them pillows. Well, rich people need to sleep on something in comfort, right?
As long as we get paid for this, then yes.
You're getting paid to see all the cargo safely there. And right now, we are on our way to a city, a large city, called Telis. And it's almost pure human. And humans, I mean, I think in this world there's going to be other races, but this is a world that's mostly humans. Let's see. I think, Thunkel, this is where you went to school. How long has it been since you've been back to Telis?
At least 5 years.
At least 5 years, okay. And for the other two, have you guys ever been to this city before?
I probably have a couple of times. I don't really like it there. I don't really like to stick around because it reminds them of his past, and he's not really into the whole idea of like slavery or keeping things in cages.
Even if they are demons?
Even if they are demons.
Okay. Area. Now, if it's mostly... Did I get it right? Area. Full of air. And I have to call you guys back. I got your character's name. Ashley Judiker. There, I still remember that. Thanks for the Judiker, Area, and Thunkel. Thunkel's the easiest. Anyways, now this is a city that's mostly human, we'll say. There are some dwarves, halflings, and elves that get in there once in a while. Have you ever been here? And if so, how has it treated you? Is this maybe the place that you... go ahead.
He's been there plenty of times. He's kind of well known. The name, for better or worse, is known to a lot of people. So yeah, we'll say, for the most part, he travels a lot, and yeah, so he will have been here before.
Okay, so you've all been here before. For Thunkel, it's been 5 years. This is where he went to his academia. This is a place that is high magic, like even down to the lowliest scrub. Some people have the ability to harness magic, if not inborn, then to at least study and conquer, become a mage themselves, even if they're not a mage. And also to, I mean, what is it about the city? There's a lot of mostly humans. Most everybody knows magic. It's ruled by a council of 12, right? 11 mages and then someone else to oversee. And most everybody, especially the high-end people, have all enslaved demons to do their bidding. Is this... What else am I missing here? What else is it about Telis? I think that's about... I summed it up.
What is their main industry?
I don't know. That is a good question. What is their main industry? I mean, they can do a lot of magical stuff and have demons do a lot of stuff for them. So, what do you guys think?
I was thinking potentially lumber or different kinds of unique flora or fauna. Maybe like the body parts or something of unique fauna and different kinds of plants that are kind of dispersed around the surrounding area or something like that. It could also be that a lot of refined goods come out of Telos.
I can see
Go ahead.
the refined good makes a lot of sense. They have essentially unlimited demonic labor, or at least close to it. So the hazardous things, refining of minerals, shaping of materials would be cheap to perform.
Yeah.
Maybe production of magic goods, healing potions, weaving machines, stuff like that.
Profit margin with demons is probably like 90 some percent. I mean, right? It's probably lucrative.
Well, it's lucrative, but I imagine the people who provide the demons get most of the funds that come out of that.
Sure.
Maybe if you've got a melting process that's run by demons, you make a handsome living, but you have to pay to keep your demons. It'd be a shame if they all got loose in your warehouse.
I thought it'd be a shame if they all got loose in general. I mean, who knows how Thunkel has changed about his ideologies, and we know how Rudiger feels. So, I mean, here we are. We're going to this city, right? Just foreshadowing. I can't do nothing. You guys just have to roll 6 or less, and then I can literally open the floodgates here. Anyway, so we've been on this journey. It's about a 5-day journey. Like in this game, how it's measured is it usually goes by rations, right? So it takes 5 rations to travel here. Rations are how much you need to eat for that segment of time. But we can also go more on a real-time thing. So it's like a 5-day journey. You guys are getting a little lower on rations. Did anybody start with rations?
Yeah, I got 5.
I did as well.
I got 3.
Okay, so that's just currently where you're at, and you have at least one more ration to spend before you reach town. Also, before we begin, I don't know, this is something with Dungeon World, like you started, I mean, you're level 1s, but you're still like higher and more badass than like anybody around you. But I wanted to start everybody with 3 XP. That's what I did in my last game. I just believe it just shows that you've been a seasoned veteran and done a lot of stuff. So technically you would start at 0, but you have to get to 8 to level up to level 2. So I'm going to start everybody at 3 XP. Depending on how crazy it gets today, you might even level up. Once you hit 8 XP, it's always your level plus 1 is what you need for the next level. So once you get to level 2, you'll need to then reset and earn 9 XP, and so on and so forth. So once you actually hit your 8 XP, and you have a long rest where you rest up and do like a full night's rest, your next level kicks in at that point. And once anybody gets to that, just let me know once you reach that mark. Remember, in this game, it kind of balances. If you're rolling really well at 7 or above, most of the time you're being successful. You mark XP when you roll 6 or below. So every time you mess up bad, you mark an experience point. So that balances. It basically says that you learn from your mistakes, assuming that you survive. So, if you roll bad tonight, you'll probably make the next level. If you roll really well, you probably won't get hurt and you'll stay where you are. So it goes back and forth. So, there we go.
That's a cool mechanic.
Yeah,
I like that.
I do like it too. But I want to hear you guys' opinions like after you've experienced it as well. So, we are traveling on a road that's going east, and we're about a ration out from Telos. So it's getting near the end of the day. Sun sets around, excuse me, my ear's still plugged up. Around, between 7 and 8 is when it becomes twilight, So we'll say it's getting there. You guys are traveling a little bit. You're looking for a place to stop relatively soon. You have the caravan leader. He's a tall, dark-skinned man. Goes by the name of Crow. He's a human. And he leads this caravan. It's only 3 caravans. They're loaded though. They're the wagons. I don't know. Besides being driven by people, like what do the wagons look like? Are they your standard like going out west covered wagons like Pilgrim style? Pilgrim, that's not even right. Like the Oregon Trail, or are these wagons? They look different. Are they bigger, heavier laden? Like, what are these?
Do they have, if they're magically driven, do they have wheels or are they flying?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't you tell me? I mean, I would say they would be hovering at most. I wouldn't say they'd be flying.
I'd say they'd get skis. Why have wheels if they're being magically propelled? But I don't think supporting weight would be worth the finances. So,
Well, they'd have to turn. Can the skis pivot?
just like a sleigh.
Okay.
I would say they're probably armored to a point, because invariably it's going to be dangerous to have these things like out in the open. Like, there's going to be people who are going to attack. There's going to be wild animals or monsters that are going to attack. Having them with some modicum of armor on means that there's a higher chance that they get through without losing any of the valuable property that we're trying to trade.
I think that's a great idea. A good point. I think with that, all three of the wagons would be a standard cube, standard truck. There's no distinguishing marks to know what's inside of them. So bandits wouldn't know if they're going for an empty one full of grain, one full of gold. It's just
Are they like iron or steel, like on a wood, like maybe like a wood foundation, reinforced with like iron, on like iron or steel sleds or skis, whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Padlocked and closed up.
Sure.
Okay.
It would take at least a wrecking bar to get through.
Okay. I would say that Crow probably drives the front one and probably has one human driver, not driver, one human caravaner. That's going to get confusing. Including himself, like one regular human NPC, boom, boom, boom on each one. Crow is also doubled up on the front one with his boy. And then you guys are wherever you fit in, walking, riding, whatever. So as we are approaching near the end of the day, looking for a spot, we're okay. Let me set the scene here. It's been a kind of a combination. There's been a lot of forest. As you get closer to Telis, this is where we have a lot of wooded area. That's where they get a lot of their refined material for the flora that we were talking about. There is actually most of the trees that you come across that you've seen. I mean, it opens up and there's a kind of a clearing, but then the woods will close back in and then it'll open back up to like some kind of rocky hills up and down and stuff like that. And right now you're kind of in a combination. There's groves and splotches of trees here and there, and you're kind of moving back into a thickly wooded area. It smells pretty pure, pretty nice. There's a small creek alongside that has kind of like a greenish blue water flowing through it. You can hear all the sounds and the buzzing of the mosquito life and whatever kind of weird things are floating around. You see a fairy here and there. You see like raccoons that have like the heads of dogs, and it's just kinds of weird stuff. The trees have like bark that are colors of dark green, blue, and purple, with like leaves that come off them that are more brighter, like oranges and reds and yellows. And it's not fall, it's just the way it is. It's just a very bright, vibrant area. You've also noticed that as you've gotten a little bit further, you've seen some scraps and you've seen destroyed caravans. Like sometimes you'll see a broken down wagon that was abandoned a long time ago, or another ski. You might even find a broken shield. And you've seen a few more bits and pieces as you've gotten closer to this area. So as we're walking, where are the three of you in relation to the caravan? Crow rides the front with another guy, and then there's a driver for each of the other two. Where are you guys currently?
I imagine if there's three caravan, if there's three like box car things, then we're probably like shotgun one each, or at least like two on one side, one on the other side.
I mean, you could be riding, you could be walking. I want to know where each individual feels that they would be.
Sure. I would probably be shotgun with Crow up front.
Okay. So maybe there's okay, we'll say that if you're riding with him, then the person that would be riding with him is doubled up with someone in one of the other two. So you're up front with Crow. Okay. Thunkel, where do you sit, my good old mage sir? or ride or walk or whatever.
I'm not sure. Is there room to ride inside one of these containers? But it sounds like they're already locked, so there isn't like a passenger place. I'm certainly not shotgun with Crow.
No, I think that spot has been taken.
I think I'll be second. I don't want to be in the back. I don't want to be in the front. I'll go and ride shotgun or ride passenger to the second cart.
Second? Are you inside then? You can. I guess you can.
No.
Okay. I almost feel like they would have them padlocked. And by the way, welcome viewers, welcome Media and Ultrazuli. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. You're riding shotgun then?
Yeah, I'll ride shotgun or wherever the other person rides on the second cart.
All right. Do you have your spells prepared today, sir?
I do.
I mean, it's not like you're going to need them, but I just was curious.
Right. Yeah. No. Just saying.
And area, where are you at, sir?
We're gonna say he's in the third caravan. He convinced the rider to unlock it, and he's actually inside the caravan taking a nap.
Go Bard.
Perfect.
You don't want to work too hard. I mean, you just inspire. You play music at night. You inspire them when there's battle. You know. But then, otherwise, you're off, man. You're off.
Rudiger wishes he was dumb enough to do this.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sleeping on the job. That sounds like a win in my book.
Yep.
Getting paid to sleep.
Getting away with it too. Then convincing people that you were not all along. You were just spying out the back. Anyway. Okay, so we are getting close to sunset. Crow is like, I wish we could hurry up and get through this thickly wooded area and find a place, but I don't know if we're gonna move fast enough. Rudiger, what do you think? Stopping now? Maybe I have to wait till he's back. All right. So Crow's like, I want to get through these woods as soon as I can. We got a really thick patch coming up. We could try to make camp off the side in the woods, but there's reports of gobos around here, and I even heard there's a manicore flying around once in a while. He goes, what do you think? Should we go, before we get into the wooded area, should we make camp? Should we try to rush through, get to the other side before it gets dark?
Well, if there's any gobos around, you don't have to worry about them. I can chop them up into little gobbo soup. You ever had that?
No, they're disgusting creatures. I've never had. Have you?
Yeah. And he just cuts like a sideways glance, and he says, well, if we're going to be stopping anywhere, I guess this good place to go is next place. Sure.
Okay. There's a little bit of clearing. So, the woods are starting to surround you now, and you notice that there is... Let's see, Rudiger, you're up front. As you get there, it gets a little bit darker because you get into the woods and you got a nice thick canopy on both sides. You notice that there's something just out of the corner of your eye, just for a second, and then it blends back in, but like something that seemed like a shiny line that went across, goes across the cart path up ahead. But otherwise,
I'm gonna make the first roll here, and I'm gonna try and discern reality.
All right. So you want to try to understand what it is. So there are a whole list of moves. Everybody has basic moves. There's special moves, and then everybody has their own class moves. So what the players will do is basically say, "I want to try to do this," and I'll be like, "It sounds like this move. Why don't you roll?" Ooh, thank you. So go ahead. That is discern realities. That is going to be a plus your wisdom roll. Go ahead and make the first roll of the game.
7.
Oh, got yourself a 7?
Yep.
All right, you may ask one question from the list there.
Right. I think the question I'll ask is right. What should I be on the lookout for?
All right. Oh, got to ask the best question, right? So, if you act on this answer, you can take +1 forward when you act on it. What you should be on the lookout for.
Okay.
Definitely, in this time, you should be on the lookout for an ambush, because that looks like something like a tripwire up ahead there.
Okay.
Tripwire of some sort. Yeah.
I immediately backhand into Crow's chest. Probably a little harder than it needs to be, but just like I'm like, wait, something's up ahead. Let me check it out.
All right. And so he's like, all right, hold. He sees like there's this little pedestal that sticks up in the middle of the wagon, and it's got like a little sapphire on it, right? And the way he hovers his hand across it gives it directionality and forward progress or reverse progress. And so like he lifts his hand, and the sled just kind of coasts to a stop. The other one stop in pursuit. Thunkel and Arya, you feel, well, Arya might be sleeping, so he might not even notice. Thunkel, you whether I don't know if you're looking at your book or what you're doing, but you notice that you've suddenly stopped, and you're kind of in the middle of this canopied woods with this, dirt track that's about 2 sleds, 2 carts wide, right? So
I lean off to the side of the wagon and take a look around the edge. Does this look like a good place to stop for the night, or do I think we stop for other reasons?
Why don't you discern realities when you come back? Sean, if you want to switch off your camera real quick and flip it back on, maybe that'll work. You might get jumbled around, unfortunately, but we'll find out.
All right, so I'll discern reality.
All right, let me...
Remind me how to get to the die roll.
Okay, so in roll 20...
Yep, I'm there.
You're gonna discern realities is rolling your wisdom. You always roll one of your 6 stats unless otherwise said. So under your wisdom, where it says the 1 wisdom, the modifier, there's a little die symbol next to it.
That's right.
You just click it.
Bum, 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 bum. Wisdom.
Not bad. So from the basic moves list, if you can see them there, and I can read it to you if not, you can ask one of those questions on the list. And I will post them in the chat right there. There's 6 of them.
What is about to happen?
What is about to happen? That's another solid answer. You sit there and you're looking around. You see Rudiger is like kind of starting to get up. Rudiger, were you going to get up to go investigate? Was that what you were doing? Like you were just
Yeah, I was just gonna jump off, so he probably would see me or hear me like jumping off into the mud.
Clanging with your huge armor and everything. So yeah.
So we're about to hustle.
You start to look around, so there's a lot of broken metal in pieces and all kinds of abandoned scraps of previous encounters. And when you see Rudiger going ahead, you're like, oh, yep, we're definitely about to be attacked. It's been such a peaceful ride so far, but this is definitely something that's happening real soon here.
Can I cast a spell?
What were you looking to cast?
I was going to cast. Contact spirits.
I was hoping you'd say that. Let's see. What page is that? Contact spirits. Here it is. Name the spirit you wish to contact, or leave it to the GM. And you pull that creature through the planes just close enough to speak to you about your answer. It is bound to answer any one question you ask to the best of its ability. Okay. So, let me see how you cast magic. I think you just roll plus intelligence, right?
Yeah, I think it's just plus intelligence.
Okay. Cast a spell. When you release a spell you prepare, roll plus intelligence. Okay. Is that what you want to do that immediately? Go ahead.
Yep. Intelligence. Don't know. 7. Now, do I get +2 to that?
It should.
Is that how that works?
It should have added +2 to the roll. 2d6. Let's see. Okay, my phone is annoying the crap out of me right now. I'm looking at the roll. 2 plus 3 plus 1. Because you can hover over it and it will tell you, but it doesn't look like... Anybody else can look at that. I don't know if it shows... you rolled your... Did you click your dice button?
Yeah, it says right there, rolled a 7.
Okay, so
Says
it
you
must
rolled a
have been-
7 on intelligence.
Yeah, you get a +2 to the roll, right? Let me just roll it real quick. Okay. So yeah, you rolled a 2 and a 3. There it is. And then it would have added the +2, which I don't see where that is in the formula, but yeah, so it would have done it right. So
Okay, so the hold value is a 7. Okay, great.
yep. So
Okay.
the spell is cast but choose one. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, the spell is cast but choose one. You draw unwelcome attention or put yourself on the spot. The GM will let you know. The spell disturbs the fabric of reality as it's cast. Take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time you prepare your spells. Or the other one. After it's cast, the spell is forgotten. You cannot cast the spell again until you prepare spells. Which of these things happens?
I'll lose the spell.
Lose the spell?
Yep.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What does it look like when Thunkel casts this spell? What do we see or hear? What does the audience, from an audience perspective, notice?
Anybody who watches is going to see some mechanical incantation, little moment, and then kind of a summoning of mist just in front of me, just close enough, and I speak into my hands, and that's where I'm communicating. I just literally draw them in closer, and have the conversation.
Okay, and it's up to you, or it's up to me. You can leave it to me. But do you know the spirit, the name of the spirit you're contacting, what it is, and who you're talking to?
I call in the spirit of this wood, and ask it my questions.
Okay, so you have this kind of like pretty nymph-like face that's kind of like just in and out in the mist in front of you, kind of a greenish mist, right? And it's just like, Thunkel Lorbrand, ask your question.
Where are the would-be attackers hiding?
Oh, okay. She's like, so it's one question, right? Okay.
I think it's just the one, yeah.
They're hiding within my body on both sides of this barren path. And in the trees above you. They are everywhere around you. And the mist just kind of like fades off. So.
Yeah. So I call up to Rudiger. Rudiger, left and right, look up.
What the hell?
And that's when you take an arrow from the front because you weren't looking. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
You're about halfway to this like tripwire, and you see it's like just this fine silver line that goes across, tied to two trees into the darkness. Ariam, do you think you'd be awake at this point, or do you think you still be snoozing until like the fit hits the shan, so to speak?
Let me see.
Sure.
No, he's still sleeping.
I love how you always leave it
Until
up
the
to
shit hits the fan.
the dice of fate. Always, okay. All right. And you look up in time, Rudiger, to like jump backwards as all these little bodies jump down. You see like dark green, light green, some orange, yellow, and even like one that's red and even very, very ebony. These little tiny bodies the size of like, children with big ears and demonic looking red eyes, just like, "Aye!" And they just scream as they come down. Goblins are literally raining on your parade as they jump down in front of you on all sides of the caravan. But what's different about these goblins is they stand up. They all are armored and weaponized with piecemeal. So their armor is piecemealed together from all kinds of different bits of metal, different kinds of metal, from like gold to steel to aluminum to copper and brass. Like their armor is covering all of them individually differently. And they all have small spears or claws or other things that they're adorned with for weapons. They're all different, every single one. And they just come out of the woodwork. What do you guys do? And they're screaming. They're doing a war cry. They're just like, la 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 la. You know, I can't. And there's something, yeah, they're everywhere. And they look like they want to fight or something. What do you guys do?
I'm going to reach behind me, grab the Crimson Cleaver, and I'm going to try and chop one down in one fell swoop as soon as it like enters my range through the air.
Okay. That sounds like you are going to go some hardcore hack and slash. Why don't you roll plus your strength? And in case I haven't explained it before,
Absolutely.
there is no real initiative, turn, or order. It's really just a whole speaking conversation between all of us. So I will try to bounce around, but there's no initiative. There's no order. You guys go when you say you go. So
7.
7. All right. Now I must find my enemies because I had them written up somewhere. All right, so that's really made it messed up. Okay, so these goblins come down and they're charging. This one is coming down your way, Rudiger, and as he's falling, he looks like a little tiny like water mine, right? Like he has armor on and a helmet that have spikes going out of it, and the armor has spikes going out in all directions, and he's just like dropping down on you, like spread out, like ah. So as you're like cutting him in half, the other bits of him still come down and scrape you. So you can go ahead and do your damage, and then roll 1d5 against yourself. I know it's a weird die since there is no die like that, but 9 damage on him.
9 damage, yeah.
Oh, he explodes. But like his shrapnel bits fall all over you, but I'm assuming your armor absorbs.
Yeah. I got 2 armor, so that absorbs just the one.
Okay. So he comes down and his bits bank, bunk off you, and this thing just falls into like 2 neatly cleaving pieces at your feet. And these things all start screaming now and charge in. Some of them like jumping right into the carriage and start attacking the carriage over the people. Thunkel, what do you do?
I'm working my way up to where Rudiger is. No, actually, I'm going to work back to where Area is. Is he in the third carriage?
Yes.
Where he was sleeping?
He was in the third carriage.
Okay.
Now the goblins are all screaming. One fell from the sky, and Rudiger just chopped him right in half. So Thunkel, you're making your way.
Yeah. So how long does it take to do something like use a cleric spell of fear?
No, you just say I'm going to cast this spell, and then we're setting it up.
Then if there's any that are between me and where Area is, I'm just going to use fear.
Yeah, that's fine. How many can you affect with that?
Just one at a time.
One at a time? Okay. Yeah, you see, basically, it looks like 2 goblins from each side attack each caravan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's like 2 on each side of each wagon, and they dive into the wagon, and you're not sure exactly what they're doing because you're just reacting. You can try to discern realities on that, but you said you're going to cast a spell, so you can. They're not really paying attention to you at the moment, so you can like jump on the ground and approach the next wagon where the scared driver is. But I think the entrance to the cargo part of the wagon is on the back side, so you'd have to make your way around to the back side. Or climb straight up into the wagon and go over the top.
I'm actually just going to climb up onto the top of my wagon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And from up there, I'll try to be more effective.
Sure.
Unless I'm on top of my wagon.
Nope, they're on the sides.
What's that?
They're on the sides of the wagon. They seem to be diving into the wagon and like attacking the wagons.
Okay, then I'm going to go up on top, so I'm out of spear range, and then cast fear on the Gabo to one side, and cast the object of fear is the wagon itself, so he will be afraid of the wagon.
Nice. Which is it? One of the ones on your wagon, or one of the ones on the wagon?
My wagon.
Yours?
My wagon.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Go ahead and let's go ahead, and I think that's as all spells are plus int.
Okay. 9.
9. Is that the cast fear? Is that the cleric spell?
Cleric spell.
Okay.
Oh, is that supposed to be wisdom?
No, you can still base it off yours. You get to cast it as a wizard spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at wizard spell.
Choose a target. You can see a nearby object. The target is afraid of the object so long as you maintain the spell. Reaction is up to them. Flee, panic, beg, fight, etc. While it's ongoing, I have -1 to casting spells.
Okay, so you rolled a 9. Draw unwelcome attention to yourself or put yourself on the spot. Or the spell disturbs the fabric of reality and is cast. Take negative ongoing to casting spells, or you forget the spell. What's your choice?
I'll take undue attention, or unwanted attention.
Ooh, really? Okay. So, the gobbo to the right of you on the back side, he suddenly, he's like attacking, like he's got like a monkey wrench in there, and he's like trying to loosen the bolts on the sleigh, and he's got like silver in his hand already, and he steps back, he's like, sorry, and he drops the bolt and his monkey wrench, and he bolts by turning around and running back into the woods. No! Right. And he is gone. Nice work. Arya, are you awake yet? I mean, there's a lot of screaming going on.
I suppose.
It does.
Yeah.
Thunkle, as you see that, you're like, but then you feel like the fabric of magic, like, kind of waver. It's kind of like a steady flow, you know, like just like flowing through everything in you. And then suddenly you feel, it's almost like someone drops a big stone in the water of magic ripples, and you kind of like get hit by it, and you're like, uh-oh. And you're like, You're like, something just happened. Arya, what's going on, man? Yeah, you definitely get waking up because you not only hear the screams, but you hear like, like, you know, like a socket wrench going, and just like a saw getting sawed, and you just the wagon is like rocking, and you come awake from your peaceful bardic slumber, where you had many women and much wine and were having such a good time, and now you're back to reality.
I guess he gets all of his stuff, and he walks out to kind of take a look to see what's going on. And does he see Thunkle?
You would have to exit the back of the third wagon, so you'd have to like get out and look up and over to see him on top of the next wagon. So you actually have to get up and turn around.
Oh, okay, so when I get out, I'm actually facing behind in the opposite direction.
Yep, you'd be facing behind, back behind you. Yes.
So I'm guessing, so Thunkle, was this on, did he cast Fear on the second caravan?
Yeah, one of the 4 on his. Okay. Yep.
Okay, well, we'll have Arya come out. I guess if he looks to the left and the right, he sees 2 goblins, right?
Yeah, 2 on each side of your wagon, actually, and they're like busy dismantling it. You can see the sled on the right side is already like coming loose really fast.
All right, the one that's making a lot of progress, I'm going to take out my bow and try to shoot him.
All right, so you just step out, you're like, that's not good. And just like, thwang. All right, go ahead and make a volley, and that is a plus dex on your roll. Oh, nails it! Nice. Oh, and no one's rolled a 6 yet, so no one's marked XP. Okay. So, on a volley, on a 10 plus, you have a clear shot, deal your damage. Go ahead and roll your bardic damage, sir. Which I think is, for bards, is it D6?
What's that?
Your damage is D6.
Damage, yes.
Yep. I don't think you can roll 16. I'm not sure how you did that. That was amazing. I think... I think you just
want to take a look at my sheet.
For arrows, though, you always do the same damage. That's your gear or your load, right? So up at the top where it says damage is 6, you should just roll that.
That's what I did.
How would it get 16 then? It says 16 equals 16.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure.
Let me try it.
Down there.
Maybe you have to roll it. Maybe you have to. Let me try it. Okay. Maybe you have to roll it has to be a 1d6. Let's try that. That didn't work either.
Maybe that.
Oof. 40.
I think you have to put just like D and then the number.
Here.
Okay, that works. Let me try that. All right, let me see it.
Well
Yeah, we're gonna put D10. So you guys need to put D and then the number. But the 6 is perfectly fine. That's what you rolled legitimately. So, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, this goblin like looks up at you just in time to take an arrow through his right eye, and he just like just convulses and hits the ground, and is dead.
Do I have time to go get my arrow back?
There's another goblin right next to him working, but yeah, you can. It doesn't count against your total ammo, remember, because you didn't lose any, so you still have plenty of arrows. But yeah,
I know.
You can quote unquote recover your arrows right in the heat of battle, or you can do it later, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I want to know what's next. I think, Ari, you feel like you hear a noise behind you as you're like pulling the arrow out of the dead goblin's eyeball, and the other one's like looking up at you in fear and just hisses. But something's behind the caravan in general. That's what Thunkel is kind of looking at right now. What do you guys do?
I guess since I'll turn around and see and take a look at what's about to destroy us.
About 30 paces behind you, you see two goblins are standing there, and then they're walking this way, and then they both get down on their hands and knees and kneel, and a third goblin steps up on top of them like they are soapboxes, like they're a pedestal for her, and you can see that she has like bright blue all the goblins have red eyes, right? But this goblin has crystal bright blue eyes, and she has earrings all through her ears. She has a dress on, a black dress, and she just stands on them, and she's like, "Oh, you try to kill my pets. Well, we want your mech." And she's holding like a silver thin like wand in one hand, and a small metal cube like this big in her other hand. And Thunkel, you can feel the magical essence coming off her.
Okay.
And she's looking really at you, not the bard. And she's like, "Okay, compete with this." And she takes the cube, and it like lets go of it, and it begins to float in front of her face. And she's like, "What do you guys do?"
No, I can't cast fear on her. She's now afraid of the cube. I dropped the other fear, so no penalty.
Okay, so that's what you're gonna. Okay, so go ahead and actually, I want to check one message thing real quick here. Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll plus int again. I'm gonna let my cat out. I'll be here. All right. Ooh, a 9er. Not bad. Let me ask you those same questions again. What's going to happen with your spells this time? Unwelcome attention? Spell disturbs fabric of reality? Or you forget the spell?
Unwanted attention.
Okay. So she steps back and she's like, and she like throws the wand forward in her hand, and this huge bolt of black lightning streaks out of it and comes right for your face. Can you, for me, so you see this black streak of lightning coming right at you. What do you do?
Mm-hmm. Black lightning. It's one of those things like most other kinetic kinds of magic, that they are drawn to a particular force. I will lay down on the caravan itself and let it travel past me, because the iron itself is repellent to that form of magic.
Oh, really? Okay. So it sounds like you are defying danger by getting out of the way. So, and acting fast. So why don't you roll plus your dexterity for me?
I thought I was going to use my intelligence to think it out.
Oh,
all right.
I see. So you think with quick thinking because you knew it. Yeah. Okay. You know what?
Because I know the nature of magic.
Yep. I agree with that. Why don't you?
Okay.
Before you roll, you can always go, "Hey, I think it should be this." You can always discuss it with me.
Okay.
So
okay.
We'll just
because that's where it's going. Like the kind of magic.
Okay.
I would help some understanding of.
All right. Well, we'll just negate that roll and go ahead and just roll your int for me.
Okay.
Oh, you suck. So good. So good. Okay. So you hit the dirt, and yeah, the electricity goes over the wagon and shoots up into the trees and just blows top of a tree apart. And then she steps back from the cube, and she's like, she's fighting it though. She doesn't run away. It's still floating there, but she does back away from it. So I'm gonna come back up to Rudiger. What's going on with you? Goblins are attacking, 4 of them, 2 on each side of the front wagon, and yeah, you know what's going on.
I want to knock a goblin off the front of the wagon where Crow is, jump up on the top of the wagon, tell Crow, well, looks like you're going to be trying gobbo soup tonight anyways. And I want to run on top of the caravan the whole way down, from cart to cart to cart, and then jump and attack this dumb gobbo whatever and try to chop her in half.
Okay, so you're going to try to attack a goblin where you're at, and then run all the way down, and then try to attack another goblin?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
I got to ask, this could be fun. Have we 3 fought together before?
Probably. I'm not sure.
That's a good question. We should answer
Throw
that.
dice on it.
I think it'd be great if we had, because this could be a good story here.
I mean, that's up to you guys.
Because my thought would be, if we fought together before, then you've probably let me turn you invisible before. So you could run by, high five, become invisible, and then lose it as you go to make your attack swing, but it would give you invisibility for 2 cart lengths.
That could be a thing, yeah. Maybe if that's the case, maybe I end up stepping on Arya's head as I travel down or something like that. Maybe her shoulder, or his shoulder, I should say.
I'm sure you totally appreciate that. So first the idea is to attack a goblin on your way, right?
Yeah, as I'm trying to, because there's another goblin who was like towards the front of the caravan.
There's 2
attacking it.
Okay. I can see you.
Yeah,
I can see you stepping up on him to get up there. But yeah, you can go ahead and roll a plus strength against that goblin as you go. We'll start there.
Okay. All right.
We'll get that done first. See what up.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting to transition to the other, so people can see your rolls. All right. So a 9. All right. So
9.
On a 7 to 9, you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you. So go ahead and deal your damage, and then roll a d5 back your way.
All right. I got a 9 again.
Okay. Well.
And he deals 5 damage, so I take 3. As my armor reduces 2 of it.
Okay. Yep. And I'm gonna check my guys' stats there. Actually, I haven't looked at them for a bit. I don't think they have armor piercing.
I do.
You do? I'm not worried about what. I mean, that's sick. I'm not so worried about. Yeah. So I feel, and you kind of like crush him as you step up off him, but he's working with he has like a hammer and a pick, and he's trying to like pry stuff off with it. And as he sees you come down on him, he's like, ah! And he takes the pick, and he goes right up the inside of your thigh and finds a chink in the armor and hits that spot like behind the knee, up in the leg, and just really drills you there as you crush his face against the side of the wagon, and his head explodes, right?
I'd like to think that he does get that shot off on me, but I just stab the Crimson Cleaver through him and into the ground, and just use it like a pole vault to get myself up.
That's even better. Okay. Use that huge sword and pole vault up. He hits you, but you're just up and you're running. All right, so I'm going to ask you to do a defy danger, I would say dexterity, as you hop from
sounds about right.
From cart to cart. Just one to get at least to where Thunkel is.
Okay. That's an 8.
Okay, so Thad, Thunkel, were you gonna cast invisibility on him?
Yeah, and on his way by, it has to be physical contact.
Okay, so here's your choice, Rudiger. You can, because you stumble as you jump on the next one. As you land on the cart, the injury you took behind your right knee makes you stumble a little bit. So you can keep your momentum, but it's going to take you past Thunkel, unable to get the invisibility, and you can keep going. Or if you get into his path, or he can touch you, you're going to stumble and fall off the wagon onto the ground in between the second and third one instead. But you will be invisible, assuming his spell goes off correctly.
I'm gonna go past him then.
Okay, Thunkel's
If you go in between the carts, she wouldn't necessarily know you're invisible. You'd still have surprise. You could flank the gobos who are attacking the carts.
Oh, I'm a fuck this bitch up. I don't think they're gonna give me too much of an issue after that.
Okay, so Thunkel's like, yeah, we're gonna team high five. Wait, he just went by me.
Cool.
And you jump onto the next cart and down.
High five self.
And she's coming at you. And so the goblins that were her pedestals in front of her stand up and become like shields. So you're gonna have to go through them first. As you race there, so
Can I interject?
Yeah. I was just gonna come over to you.
Okay.
He's probably like leaping over you or something at this point.
If I sense that he's charging, I'd like to use Arcane Arts on him.
What does that do? Because I haven't looked at your.
So I'm going to weave a performance into a basic spell, choose an ally and an effect. So
Okay.
I'm going to choose Rudiger to take 1d4 forward to damage.
Ah, excelente. Let me.
And is he invisible?
He is not.
No, I failed on part of my defy danger roll, so I stumbled. I bolted past him.
All right, so let me get up there. The cleric.
So it would be a charisma roll.
What is it called?
Arcane Art. And I'm not cleric, I'm a bard.
No, I know. I was just getting past that.
Okay.
I just wanted to read it. So and you're gonna choose to give him +1 d4 forward to damage.
Right.
Roll.
Which, should basically give him an extra hit, right?
It gives if he does his d10 damage, he would also
like a
roll
little buff.
d4. Okay, but go ahead and roll your charisma first to see what happens.
Alrighty. I failed.
Ooh, mark experience. So it'll bump you from your 3 to 4 because you guys all have 3 marked for your XP, right? So you got XP. All right. So let me take a look. GM's choice. Oh, okay. So what is the song? What's your performance look like as far as instrument, your voice? Like, what do we see Arya do?
For this one, he puts his bow away, takes out his mandolin, and just starts. Just, I can't think of anything witty off the hand, so we're just gonna say he just starts kind of humming just humming a tune.
Okay. All right. And
Sorry, I got nothing to rhyme with it right now.
No, but I like the idea that you're thinking about doing rhymes, and I would definitely encourage that, like DJ Wheat style, which I could point you guys.
Who that is.
Well, that's a guy who played a bard in Dungeon World, and anytime he did like a major song, he was writing it while he was sitting there, and he did. I don't know, maybe Rudiger has watched this, but he was amazing. So I definitely encourage you to rhyme. You don't have to, but yeah, definitely. So bad things here. Okay, so here we go. Suddenly, as you're sprouting, like Rudiger's jumping over you and he hits the ground running, and as you cast that magic, it actually goes forward past Rudiger, and it emboldens, like you inspire suddenly the 3 goblins, the female caster and the 2 bodyguards, and you see her mind, it's like she's backing away from the cube, and she's like, yes, thank you. And her 2 guards are like, they suddenly like beef up a little bit. They actually grow like a foot, and they're like, and they get bigger, almost the size of you, Elf Bard. And they're suddenly beefcakes, and they step in front of Rudiger, preventing him from getting to the female caster. She pulls the cube to her, and she's like, now we can finish what we started. And she like casts some magic into the cube, and the cube begins to suddenly unfold and expand. What do you guys do?
The fear?
Hmm?
Did she overcome the spell?
Her fear just got cleared when the bard's magic went awry and struck her instead.
Okay, so I'm free from that spell. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to try and chop these dudes in front of me.
Okay, so they got there. What you see is they were like holding hands this whole time with gauntleted weapons, like gauntlets on. And as you get closer, they quit holding hands. As they separate, you see that each gauntlet is linked with a chain from the palm to the other palm, and they step to the side. So they're going to try to clothesline you or hook you, and it's like a barbed chain. And so, how do you attack? Do you just cleave? Are you trying to cleave into both of them at the same time?
How far apart are they?
They just started separating. They got like 2 feet. They were just like, oh, and they start to separate, try to maneuver just in time if they can. They may not make it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna like take it. Like I've been running it with it like this. I'm just gonna let it fall a little bit and swing horizontally and try to cut these guys away.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your hack and slash.
Absolutely. That's a 10.
Boop, 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 boop. On a 10 plus, you deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may also choose to do a d6 damage but expose yourself to the enemy's attack.
I'll avoid their attack, but I do get to do the d10 of damage plus the... Oh, no, because he failed his roll.
Nope, yep, just your damage. So you're
So just my damage.
you're just doing your damage?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have +2 piercing and messy and forceful.
So gross.
There we go.
Oh no, just one, huh? It does happen. Okay, so you do one to each of them. They step back just in time, so the blade only like cuts across the front of their chest, only going maybe an inch or two deep, enough to spray blood up, and it is definitely a gory mess. And they actually get pushed back from it, but they're still up, and now they run to around to each side of you to try to like run through you and catch you with a chain. And they go low too, like they're trying to get your legs. So, what do the three of you do?
Fear to the one on the left and make him afraid of the one on the right.
Brilliant. Go ahead and roll plus your int, sir.
There.
Okay. Same question as before. Which of those three?
I'll take the attention. I love it.
Unwanted attention?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So you did the one on the left to be afraid of the one on the right.
Yep.
So it hits them, and they're going around Rudiger, and then suddenly, like he's like, "Ah, brother, no!" And he tries to pull away, and it completely throws their attack off kilter. So I'm gonna give Rudiger or whoever attacks them next a +1 forward to their attack, because the one suddenly runs and pulls, and the other one's wearing the gauntlet, so it pulls him off balance. So it totally messes up their attack and puts them off balance for whoever attacks them next. Aria, what do you do? Nice work, Thunkel. Oh, and unwanted attention. Okay. So there were still 3 goblins around your wagon, Thunkel. You suddenly feel your wagon, like both sleds just came off of it, and both like rails, and the whole thing just drops like 2 feet, like flunk, and you just get thrown off balance, and you're like, whoa. Could you roll a defy danger? This time it will be dexterity to avoid going whoopsie daisy. Oh, look at him being all sly. All right. So, here's the thing. You can fall. So, you kind of drops, right? You can either fall backwards and you'll hit your head and you're going to lose the spell. All right?
Okay.
Like the concentration on it. Or you can fall off the side where the goblins are and keep your spell, but then you're on the ground in danger.
I'll keep the spell.
So you fall off under the ground?
Yep.
All right. Let me roll. Okay, odds or evens. Let's see. So a 1 is on the left, and a 2 is on the right. All right, you fall off on the right where the 1 goblin is, not the 2. So you're like, whoa, ah! And you get thrown and you find yourself eating dirt and picking yourself up off the ground. And you're still holding on to the spell, though, as the other goblins, one is in fear of the other. What do you guys do?
Okay.
Area?
Area will try to use his bow again, and he'll try to shoot the guy that's been knocked down, the guy that's not feared.
Oh, the one that's been thrown off balance? Okay.
Yes, because I have an idea if I actually am able to kill the goblin.
So you're going to be rolling.
You're
going to be rolling a volley, and you're going to.
That's dexterity.
Yep, plus dex, and there's actually a +1 to whatever you roll. So you can either adjust your modifier real quick, or we just know that.
No, it failed.
So mark experience. Okay. So you don't take a shot. Okay, so. Roll your damage anyway, because you pull up, and those guys move out of the way, but Rudiger is trying to dodge, and he steps right in front of your arrow. And suddenly, Rudiger, you find an arrow right about in your kidney area. Minus your armor, of course.
Cool. So that's 4, so I take 2.
Whoop. That was me. My bad. I knocked my glass over.
Roll a dex, Luke.
I just failed my dex roll.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. So, Rudiger, you're just off balance. You're ready to attack these guys, and suddenly you just get a striking pain in your left side. And...
All right. I'm going to try and kick these guys that are in front of me. I think one of them's running away from his buddy, and the other one's on the ground.
He's getting pulled to the side. Like he's just off balance.
I'm going to kick this guy out of my way, and then try to make a downward strike at this witch gobbo.
Okay, so you're trying to like push your way through them, like.
I'm trying to go like.
So what was that like?
You were totally.
So I want to know if you think you're going to slash through them, or I'll have you defy danger with your constitution, like you barrel your way through them, and then just so you can get a strike on her.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
That'd be fine.
Defy danger with con, please.
Okay. That's a 10.
That is a 10. Okay. You totally like throw your shoulder in this, and both goblins fall to the left side, and they fall into the ground. The right one falls on the left one. The left one starts freaking out because he's trying to get away from that one, and he's shrieking because that guy falls on top of him. And then you run ahead at the caster, and she's like, "It's too late." And unless anyone else wants to jump in here, I'll let Rudiger go ahead and do a hack and slash. Anybody else? I think Thad's muted, but I think he's saying go for it.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I'm not going to be able to resolve that fight, so.
All right.
I have to look up a monster.
I'll go ahead and roll strength then.
Yeah, go. Yeah, yep.
That's an 8.
Okay. Okay, so
I deal 10 of damage to her, but she deals her damage to me.
All right, I have to go look up that creature real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll your damage to her.
Okay. Another 9.
Much better.
Much better.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be it for her. It's weird. You've never seen a goblin with blue eyes before, like crystal clear blue eyes, and her eyes widen in horror as your cleaver goes through her. But she says a final incantation, and the cube is just growing. It's like the size of a person now, just like shoots up in the air, and crackling with like black lightning, and just like flies. And then she looks up at it just as her head gets separated from her body, and just bluish black blood just sprays everywhere. And as her body falls, you see this blackened evil mist just escape its way out of her body and float away as she falls dead. Now, the front wagon drops to the ground, broken, and so does the back. The goblins that are around it have been dismantling and throwing parts in bags. What do you guys do?
What's happening with this cube?
It is about the size of a man, and it's unfolding, and it flies up in the air, and it's crackling with black lightning, and you don't. That's it. It goes up in the air.
All right, divine reality.
Discern. You want to know what's going on with that?
Divine reality. Yeah.
Discern reality plus wisdom. May I ask one question from the list? Do you want me to paste them again there for you?
Yeah. Gotta get one of those. Okay. What is about to happen
In regards to the cube?
in regards to the cube?
It is, I don't want to say, okay, Iron Man is really corny, but it's some kind of mechanical shell that's been activated, and it's going to attach itself to somebody or something and really enhance them.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That could be fun.
It could be, but you're like, it totally would mess the person up because it's a whole bunch of unfolding metal coming from like an impossibly packed cube, and it just expands and gets bigger. I think like in Iron Man 2, when he opens the briefcase up, and
It's like wearing a briefcase, yeah.
and he puts the whole briefcase on as a suit because it's all folded in there perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be uncomfortable and probably have a bad long-term outcome.
Yes.
All right.
Area. What's going on, bud?
Seeing the cube unfold, I think Area is going to run to one of the goblins and try to use him as a shield.
Just use him as... Okay. Grab a seed. So he's going to resist you. He's going to be like, leave me alone. No. And so I would say that would probably be a defy danger. See, what would you just grab him and hold him up in front of you?
I guess what I'd try to do is like I'd run past him, take out my sword, and kind of put it up to his neck, and just kind of like, don't move because I'm using you for a shield one way or another. At least this way, you might still live.
Oh, okay. Sounds like you're intimidating him. I would allow you to defy danger with your charisma, I think.
Okay.
Because you're basically pulling out your sword, holding it to his throat, and you're threatening him, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, 9.
Alrighty. So you do that, and he pulls out a blade and holds it to your throat. It's not quite as long-reaching. He's like, "No, I want the suit if I can get it." So you can either stay there and risk seeing what happens when this thing finally comes out of the ground, or you can jump out of the way and get away from this guy.
Say that again.
So you can either stay there and possibly risk being attacked by this goblin or this thing that falls out of the sky, but you still have him at sword point, right? But you're basically opening yourself up to danger. He might attack you. Or you can just jump out of the way, like under the wagon or into the woods, and get clear of the whole situation. Decisions.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
I know, that's fine. I have to present with you a tough choice. A worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice.
I might have something to do with this in the near future because he's fucked me twice already, and I am about ready to go after him. He literally just shot me.
Well, you're not sure if on purpose, but you were there before when you did lead all these other people into a... Not necessarily lead them into. You guys went on an adventure and they all got murdered by traps, and you two did not. So, but that's perfect for your history. I mean, that's my job.
He also pumped up the gobbo in front of me.
Oh, increase their size?
Rudiger wants challenges, so I mean, I'm helping him.
Oh.
Bar.
Fair.
They still weren't challenges though.
Exactly. You conquered your challenge. You're constantly pushing yourself. Congratulations. You went a step further.
That sounds like a bar to me. So what is it, Arian?
I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay on my ground. I'm not gonna dodge.
The goblin expected you to get out of the way. He's like really bright orange skinned, really bright red eyes, and like when you see like you stand there with an arm reach or a length like a wingspan that's longer than his. He's just kind of like oh boy. So you guys are there at a standoff. Thunkel, you're picking yourself up off the ground. The goblins who have like whole satchels full of like nuts and bolts and pieces they've taken off the wagons are like starting to back up. And Rudiger, you just finished cleaving down the caster. What do you guys do?
I'm going to stomp on the witch's head and crush it entirely, and then I'm gonna turn heel and I'm gonna look for fucking area because I didn't see any of these other guys using fucking bows.
I mean, you turn and he's at a sword to sword standoff. Well, the creature is using like a piecemeal sword, so it's really bent and wonky looking. And I mean, as you crush her, let me jump back. As you sit down and crush her head, you see in her right arm this little silver wand fall out of her hand. And then you turn and look, and Ares at a standoff with a goblin, sword to quote unquote piecemeal sword. And Thunkel is just picking himself up, looking at these goblins as they're like packing their satchels full of stuff. You see Crow and his other people, they're fighting off the other goblins in the front. And they're like, no, my sleds are breaking. And then this suit of armor is, or whatever it is like crackling and falling down. So...
Number 1 priority, save myself. Number 2 priority, finish the job. So,
okay.
I don't know that I care about this wand, but Thunkel probably knows something to do with it. I'm gonna like kick it up to him, and then I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run like past Arya, and I'm gonna like shoulder him into the cart and say, "Stop being a fucking jackass. Let's go."
And just run.
Defense roll, please. I want the ability to dodge that.
All right. Let me. All this player versus player stuff. Okay, so there's still the two goblins that are beefed up, one on top of the other, trying to get out of the way, and Ari's at sword point with another one. So I think like
I got a better idea.
Well, first of all, Thunkel, you see this wand flying through the air. Like he like sticks his boot in the ground and kicks this silvery wand, and it flies through the air like a boss style and comes towards you.
Right.
Choose to catch it?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to let all of that happen. And
cool.
Rudiger wants to.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to play more on this shoulder push if possible.
Yeah, no, you guys talk it out.
Yeah,
We'll come out with a roll if we have to, or it'll be okay. Just go ahead.
Sure, yeah.
Speak. I'll eat.
Yeah, I kick it up and then I look over at Area and like I have the sword on my shoulder. Like this part doesn't have any blade on it, so I'm just like running with it like this. And I come up and I see that he's like pointing swords at a goblin, and I'm like, if you're gonna do it, then do it, you jackass. Let's go. And I like with the side of the blade, not the actual sharpened part, but with the side of the blade itself, the flat end, and my shoulder, I like knock him into the fucking. I like probably. I don't really mean to, but I like probably end up going to knock him into the cart itself, and I probably like try to sideswipe this dude in front of him.
Area rebuttal.
I hear him coming. I know what I've done. I know what's about to happen. So in my defense, I want to try to grab this goblin and pull him to where I'm at so he gets clocked in the shoulder instead of me.
That is beautiful. I think that is quick.
So should I roll an interfere or aid or something, or should I roll like maybe a defy danger?
Well, I don't think you have to
Or
defy
hack
danger. I think it's Area that has to defy danger. But I was thinking with maybe either quick thinking, so plus intelligence, or by powering through with strength. But I'm assuming intelligence is probably more his forte. Or I like the aid or interfere, but you're not really interfering with each other. I think he's trying to. Yeah, I think Eric, can you defy danger? What do you think? Quick thinking, you're like, oh yeah, I know what's about to happen. Grab the goblin and hold him in front of you like a meat shield. Like, you think that's just quick thinking on your part and you react quickly?
Well, I mean, I'll let you guys decide. I'm just thinking. I'm hearing him stumbling by.
Yeah.
I've shot him in the back.
Okay.
I've caused the enemies to become a little bit more tough. I was probably just going to sit back and have a smoke and not interfere anymore because I was just doing bad things. So, I mean, my argument would be is that if I knew Rudiger enough, I knew it was going to happen.
Okay. I would say roll your roll plus int then.
Okay. Might not even matter anyways.
No, 7. Okay. You quickly disarm the goblin, grab him by the scruff, and hold him up. And Rudiger like flat blades his blade right into the goblin, but also pushes you back against the wagon. So Rudiger, roll your damage, and this is to the goblin. And Area will take roll. That's for the goblin, and then roll a d4 for Area, because he gets cushioned by it and just pushed aside. How much armor do you have, Area?
1.
Okay, so you would take 2 damage. But the goblin gets splatter caked. So you know, you're like, oh gosh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, it did kind of hurt, but not as bad as it could have. And it's at that time that
I yell thanks to Rudiger as he continues to charge by.
You're probably like splattered because like you're probably like covered in like partially in goblin guts because this thing literally has forceful as messy as one attribute.
Then at least he waves.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're like
Carter like flips you off behind him and keeps going.
So I want to take this wand I've got.
Mm-hmm.
It matches that suit that's up in the that cube thing that's up in the air, right?
It does not necessarily. No. Nope. It was two separate things. No. And actually, that's you see the suit actually come down, and like you see like the shadow over Crow. Crow's like, wait, what? And suddenly this thing just comes down and just piles on top of him. He's like, and he gets pushed down into the ground, and suddenly it's just a big pile of black metal that is like growing, morphing, and shaping, and you're just like, whoa, or whatever. You're just like, whatever your feelings are on it, and then you're looking at this wand, but you're like, they're not necessarily related, and you're not sure what the wand shot black lightning before.
Well, I know that she used the wand to affect the box, so now I want to use the wand to unaffect the box and fold it back up.
She actually, well, okay, that's fine.
Sorry, Crow. This could suck.
So basically, it's a wand. I think what I would say is, it's a wand of lightning, but you have to like agree with it to use it. So it's going to be a plus charisma roll to use the wand.
Okay.
So go ahead, and if you're attacking that, go ahead and roll plus charisma for me.
You have to agree with the social politics.
Yeah. I did not.
It does not agree. It does not want to attack the suit of armor, and then, therefore, denies it. This thing had 3 charges. It now has 2, because you tried to use it, and the lightning fizzles out. Actually, no, never mind. It does not lose a charge, but the lightning shoots out, and then suddenly it's like, nope, and it comes back and it hits you instead. Thunkel, can you roll a 2d6 plus 4 against yourself? So how do
I do that?
Type it out manually. You do / roll, and then type 2d6 plus 4.
With a space?
/ roll. Perfect. You take 11 points of damage.
Nope, I'm sorry, that was me.
Oh. You just want to test it out.
I put a space hoping it wouldn't actually trigger the script, but it still did it. But
/ roll, then space, and then 2d6 plus 4. No space between the numbers or pluses. Oh, much better.
That?
Yep, worked.
Great.
So you take 9 points of damage as this black lightning just blasts you off your feet. And you're like, wow, it works, kind of. And your hair is... Do you have hair? Or do you not?
I did.
Mark experience, by the way, for the charisma roll. So you go up at experience because you got a 6 on your charisma roll. So that means you learned something, which means, whatever you think you learned.
All right. Well, that hurt. So I have 4 hit points.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Cool.
The 3 other goblins around your wagon, the one on your side, and the other 2, they both run off into the forest with their bags of goods. I think one goblin got slayed by the caravanners. The other 2 goblins in the front wagon all run away. And then the last 2 goblins on the back caravan are running away. So that only leaves the 2 goblins, the one that is confused or under fear from the one that's chained to him in the back. And then also, as you look up, you see this thing now out front that was Crow, has this black metal encasing around him. He's like, ah! And suddenly like his face gets covered over, and the face grows this long snout. It's all black, right? And these 2 like glowing red eyes appear with these horns that come off it, and it comes down into a quadruped form, and you can hear bones breaking inside as things are being shifted and adjusted around. And these 2 black metal leathery wings sprout out the back, and this long tail bursts out the back. And wouldn't you know, as it's flapping its wings and growling, it kind of resembles a dragon made out of all metal. And it looks badass because it's like the size of the cart. It's now the size of one of the carts that you guys are lugging. And it's like, it's shaking itself off. And as it shakes itself off like a dog that's wet, you see sprockets and gears and bits of metal fly off it. And it now is looking at you guys. What do you guys do?
Maybe we should take our break and say this as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But then I was like, oh, I'm already speaking it. So we will be back in about, I don't know, 7 minutes.
Cool.
And we're going to find out what happens at the conclusion of our first battle here in Dungeon World. So, been watching. We'll see you in a few minutes. Stay right here. We'll be back.